Donald Trump is facing near universal hatred for his plans to kill Medicaid, and so he could really use some good health-related headlines right about now. So cue the media with headlines like this. President Trump takes on Big Pharma by signing executive order to lower drug prices. Oh my God, he signed an executive order and drug prices are lower? Are they as low as eggs and gas, according to Trump? But anyway, he did sign the executive order. Will it lower drug prices? That so very much remains to be seen. If it was as easy as just signing an executive order, they'd all do it. It's actually more complex than that. Basically, every part of this story is more complex, and we're gonna dive into as much of it as we can. But just to address that Fox News headline, takes on Big Pharma. Here's what I want you to do. If you have a couple of free moments, I want you to go and Google Big Pharma stock today. It jumped. Do you think it would jump if this executive order was gonna hurt Big Pharma? No, now the actual mechanics of why it jumped is complex. It's because Donald Trump is not actually doing what he did the first term to try to get prices down. He's mostly just targeting the middle managers or whatever, but this is actually good for Big Pharma. It is not populist, at least not in intent. We'll see if the effect maybe, we'll be evaluating it. But anyway, let's jump into how he pitched this, because he put out like a Marjorie Green length message, and I'm not gonna read the entire thing, but he's basically saying that pharmaceutical prices here in the US are higher than they are in any other nation, sometimes being 5 to 10 times more expensive, and nobody knows why that is. Well, first of all, everybody knows why that is, because there were no controls on the price, so they jacked them up here. By the way, Bernie Sanders has been saying that exact thing every day for the last 40 years, and everybody called him a wild-eyed commie when he talked about it, including everybody on Fox News and many Trump voters, or at least the dedicated MAGA people. So why is it all of a sudden a good thing when Trump acknowledges it? But that's fine. Let's say it was serious, and he actually does want to do something. We come out of this, he says he's gonna sign this executive order, and in that long message it says almost immediately prices will drop 30 to 80%. Now the joke's on you, because he said almost immediately in jest, as he does so many times during the campaign. But the idea that immediately it's gonna drop is insane. So 30 to 80. Why does he say that? Because he wants the headlines to say he's cutting prices on drugs 30 to 80%. How is he doing that? Stay tuned to find out. But in follow-up messages, he's even more specific. He says drug prices to be cut by 59%. Specifically, 59%. And then to make clear how vapid and shallow all this is, he says gasoline, energy, groceries, and all other costs down, no inflation. There's still inflation, and prices on those things aren't down. So if he's lumping it in with the things we've already adjudicated as lies, myths about costs going down, when they're in fact, in the case of eggs, at wholesale record highs, and gas is not 181, then I don't know why we should have any more respect on this. So look, he's gonna put RFK Jr. in charge of finding ways to twist the arms of Big Pharma to get the price down. I think that the reason I'm doing this segment is because I think there's literally no chance that they do that. If they do that, that would be good. If the right accepts that, it will be wildly hypocritical, because every single time a Democrat has implied that we should pressure companies to stop price gouging us, they've called that a commie plot, a radical, unacceptable, dictatorial thing. But that said, again, if they do it, and even if Fox is hypocritical about it, that would be a good thing. I just think it is so easy to generate this headline, especially when you see how mad people are about the fact that you're gonna cut Medicaid. It's way easier to generate a headline than to cut prices by 80%. So I would tell people, as much as I want to be optimistic, I don't think you should buy the hype. JR, what do you think?
Just as much of the negative things he's sprinkles all over the media every day and moves on to the next thing. It comes also with these positive announcements. The whole point is to say something, get people to believe it, move on to the next thing, or say something it's actually negative, do it, and then as people are trying to scramble to stop, and court cases come up, and challenges come to it, and protests come, move on to the next thing. It's all from the same routine, just like the tariffs that we talked about earlier. It's a matter of just doing it, saying it, doing it, saying it, doing it, saying it, and then moving on to the next thing before anything is actually done or said. How many executive orders has this guy passed? The main purpose of this whole thing, in my opinion, at this point right now today, is because I already saw it. Look at Donald Trump looking to lower drug costs, and look, Democrats don't want it. That is the entire point of this. It's to have this line drawn in the sand to make people believe that Donald Trump wants to lower costs, drug costs, when old man Sleepy Joe barely talk Biden was doing the same thing. And what did they call him? A piece of garbage. Can't believe he'd want to lower my drug costs. What's he, some kind of crazed American or something? But now this guy just says it and says he's gonna come up with these random numbers that he's gonna pull out of his ass. Now you're gonna believe it. And then if it doesn't happen, you're gonna move on. You'll be so far down the line, you'll forget that he even asked for it because you're so used to your higher drug costs. You're like, well, he tried. And actually, he proposed this one thing. It's all about, it goes back to that other thing again that Caroline Leavitt said. Trust me, because I said so, not because of any mechanisms in place to actually do it. And again, RFK Jr. was at this whole press conference and he goes, nobody does anything like Donald Trump does. It's more to exalt him in this character. It's a big act. That's all they do. They say they're gonna do something, and if they do it, maybe, but then if somebody stops them, they move on to the next thing. I wonder how they're gonna try and pull this off, because it's all for a situation for positioning for better looks.
Yeah, the Republicans, remember when Biden was like, hey, like there's 7 drugs or whatever, I'll let Medicaid negotiate on. And the Republicans were like, how could you do that? Now, not order the prices to go down, just be like, hey, you can negotiate. For years, progressive Democrats have been trying to let us nationally negotiate for these prices, and the Republicans have been freaking out. Fox News has hated it every step. Okay, look, if they want to be super hypocritical in this case, I'll take it because they'll be moving in the direction of reason. But again, I'm looking at the headlines right now. I got it loaded up right now. And Axios, Trump signs order aimed at cutting drug prices by up to 80%. Yeah, that's literally what he did. He signed the executive order. And we could also point out, by the way, he's got unified control of government. Why is he signing an executive order on this? Why is he putting it through Congress? Anyway, Trump signs an executive order to reduce drug prices, but it's unclear how it would work. That's the important part, I think, and yet most of the articles don't even acknowledge that. So look, it's designed to give him a little bit of a boost. The issue for Trump is if it doesn't work out, I think people are gonna be wondering like, hey, I thought Trump cut the drug prices. Why am I still spending money? He said immediately 59% drop. And so these are cheap like ways to boost your numbers maybe in the short term, but it's also setting up expectations that I think you're unlikely to actually meet.
He's gonna say,
great, doubt it.
He's gonna say, you're welcome. Look what he just did it with. Grocery prices are down, gas is $1.98. No, it's not, but he just says it is. And enough people will say, yeah, you know what, my drug prices aren't down.
If you enjoyed that, then make sure that you never miss another video by subscribing. And if you want a little more, consider hitting the join button and becoming a member. So you're probably wondering, why would I do that? Well, when you do that, you get access to bonus content that I make every single week, and it's a lot of fun. You get custom emojis and more. If you join at tier 3, by the way, you even get access to a monthly member hangout with myself. And you'll get all that going forward, but you'll also unlock years of the back catalog that is literally 100 or more bonus clips and top 10 lists and debates and more. So what are you waiting for?